Hello YouTube watch lovers, and this is the 3-day experience with the Seiko 5 GMT watch, which I have on my wrist right now. So this is the SSK001, so it's the black dial, black two-tone bezel on the Seiko 5 GMT watch. And straight away I wanted to start this video with recommending the review by Alex from Watch Crunch. So a really good video review of this watch. I will give you my point of view and especially my warning about some of the features of the Seiko watch. I think you need to be warned, not to get too over expectant. There are certain lowdowns of this watch, and I wanted to give all the pros and cons of owning this watch in this video. So I will start with the unboxing of this watch, which I did last Wednesday, so 3 days ago, and then I'll go into the timekeeping of this watch. I'm really impressed, but I need to just show my iPhone versus the timekeeping of this watch, and then I'll give you the basic review, the case size, the diameter, the wearing experience, how this bracelet feels on the wrist, and also, well, some of the problems with the clasp, some of the problems with the bezel, something that you need to know about before you buy this watch. So the basis, the manufacturer specified the Seiko price for this watch from the authorized dealers of Seiko, 400 GBP. I bought this watch on eBay, so you can get better deals on eBay now for the pre-owned versions of this watch, but this has been bought just a month ago, and probably the seller needed the cash, so I bought it for 310 GBP plus £9 for the Royal Mail delivery. So I will start with first unboxing of this watch. So part 1 unboxing, here we go. So we have another unboxing on our hands. So this time this is a Seiko 5 GMT watch, the black grape. Really want to see this. So I won the auction with a bid of £310, and the shipment cost for this was $9.99, and I won the auction at 5 p.m. this Monday, and it was delivered for me and it arrived today by, well, it was about 10 a.m. It's on 1 p.m. Royal Mail and eBay. Everything is up here. I just masked my home address not to show it off. So I will quickly unwrap this box. I'm trusting the sellers. I'm trusting eBay for the delivery of the right watch these days. Just doing this to keep track of everything to do with this watch, of how it came in and what was my whole experience with the Seiko 5. So here is the box. This is the original box. So immediately we have the user manual. We have all these cards. So here is thanks for the purchase. I think it is from the original seller, and this is the original receipt. So the buyer of this watch, the eBay seller, has paid £400. So I got the pre-owned watch, but very recently bought watch at a discount. So here is the warranty card. the Seiko warranty card. Everything is in here, and here is the box. So of course this Seiko, of course costs were cut in just about everything. And here is the watch. I like the way it looks. I like the SKX feeling that you immediately get from seeing this watch. It's definitely an Oyster, sorry, well, it's a Seiko diver. You can immediately see the shape of the case. You can immediately see that it has that jangly Seiko bracelet, but I am really interested in the wearing experience, in how this will feel on my wrist. So obviously this has the full set of links, and I'm just checking for the actual watch so that everything, the full box and papers, everything is included in this package, so I can acknowledge the seller for doing a proper job of packing this up and giving it to me. So at the moment I guess this will be, well, this is a Seiko bracelet which needs to be sized for my wrist, but this is the first look at the watch on my actual wrist. So I'm expecting a few days I will spend with the watch on my wrist, just to give you a quick account of the unboxing, of the full experience that I will have with the watch. So I'll take out the links. There's quite a few extra links because it's pretty. It can go on a significantly bigger wrist than my 18 centimeters circumference, 7-inch wrist. You can see there is a whole lot of extra links, and the watch looks great. So I will do a proper review, a proper video this weekend, just an introduction on the unboxing and everything that comes with the watch, including the warranty card, the original seller's receipt, and everything that came in the box with the Seiko 5 GMT watch. So it's an Oyster bracelet. There are push pins. These are not screw pins, to save as much money on this affordable Seiko 5 watch. But it immediately has the SKX feeling about the watch. It is affordable. It is, well, just fun. I like the way this bezel seems like it has a more reflective bottom bit, like a two-tone bezel, two-tone black bezel, a more reflective bottom part of the bezel, and a pure black top of the GMT bezel of the Seiko 5. So I'm really satisfied with everything being here in the box, everything, the watch, and everything coming in just 2 days, less than 2 days after I paid for the eBay auction. So it's a nice unboxing. So I need to size the bracelet and wear this watch for 3 days, and I will give you the 3 days experience video on my channel. So now into part 2 of this video and the timekeeping of this watch. So it clearly goes towards 11:35 on the watch, and I will just bring my iPhone, and the iPhone says it's 11:34. So it is 11:35 on the watch, and let us see, 11:35. This is perfect. I couldn't expect better timekeeping from the watch on a 3-day basis. This is what I want from my watches, and actually this £400 worth of Seiko 5 watch is just as good as any timekeeper. So I have to say that this is the new Seiko caliber. This is the 4R series, but it is the 4R34 caliber movement that is somewhat low beat, 21,600 VPH. So this is a 3 Hertz movement in this watch. So the power reserve is 41 hours, which is not up with the most recent releases from the big brands like Rolex or even like Tudor, and this has 24 joules. But you see, this keeps the time just perfect. It's about 10 seconds off the atomic clock, the way it looks like now, and I didn't change the time settings. I've set the time last Wednesday, so 10 seconds for 3 days. This is chronometer grade, Swiss chronometer grade timekeeping. I'm surprised myself. I didn't expect this to be so good for the 4R series movement, but this shows that these movements can be regulated, and maybe Seiko did spend some more time regulating this particular movement. This is so much better than my Turtle. Really need to think about probably regulating the Turtle myself to make it much better timekeeper. I've shown you my Turtle previously, comparing it to a Grand Seiko GMT watch. So really like this one. So Grand Seiko released this in early July, so you can find these pre-owned on eBay. I will show you all the 3 watches that Seiko released. So obviously the orange one is the most distinct Seiko watch, is the most distinct SKX watch, and probably to make a statement to get noticed, I would choose the orange watch, but I wanted something possibly to stay in my collection, especially now when I see how well this watch performs on the wrist. It's just growing. My appreciation of the watch is growing by the hour, really. I'm liking it more and more. It's very distinct SKX cushion case. So the case is 42.5 millimeter in diameter. This is just about the biggest watch that I can wear on my 18 centimeter circumference wrist. So 7-inch wrist really goes well with this watch. So the height of the case is 13.6 millimeter. So it is a bulky watch. I'm not saying that this can be worn with a tight cuff. Probably it wouldn't go under a cuff as easy as, say, a Rolex GMT Master. This is a significantly bigger watch, and I wouldn't recommend it for the wrist smaller than mine, smaller than the 18 centimeter circumference wrist. So the lug to lug distance is quite important. It's only 46 millimeter, and with the bracelet tapering down quite significantly, this is good. This will be good for most of the wrists, but I would only recommend it for wrists probably not smaller than 17 centimeters in circumference. So lug to lug distance is 46, very variable, and it's 13.6 millimeters in the case size, just to the top of that hardlex crystal. 13.6 millimeter. It has a 10 bar water resistance, but the crown is not a screw down crown on this watch. So I wouldn't recommend diving or swimming or even approaching a sink with this watch, well, on your wrist. Just try to avoid the water spraying on this watch, because the crown definitely will not protect this watch against moisture. So these are the basic specifications. So what I have to say about this watch immediately: good timekeeping. I like the applied hour markers. I like the applied Seiko logo. I like the date. I like everything about this watch and the way it is presented. People make a mistake thinking that this is a sapphire bezel. No, the bezel is covered by a layer of hardlex, just like the same material that this crystal is made of. So it makes it look like the Bakelite bezel of the old GMT watches, but it's not. It is a stainless steel, quite commonly made bezel of the Seikos, which was covered with hardlex. Now, one of the most annoying features of this watch, and something that might be a no-go for many of you, is the fact that this is not a clicking, well, this is just physical resistance. The bezel goes both ways, and it's the way that you align this bezel that counts for the proper bezel alignment. I think it is one of the features of the watch that might be a no-go for many watch fans. Second, of course, is the fact that the watch crown at 4 p.m. there's not a screw down crown, so it is not a diver. And probably I will pick up the third feature of this watch. It's this pressed metal clasp. Really Seiko could have gone for a properly milled clasp. You can see that there is a hardlex back of the case, and you can see the movement, and the bracelet is not that bad. Of course, it's a slightly flimsy, it's a Seiko bracelet, but once it is tight, sitting pretty tight, arranged on the wrist, it is pretty good. It is pretty good. I have no complaints for the cost of this watch, for the price that I paid. I think the bracelet is just matching the price point of this watch. So this Jubilee, jingly Jubilee, and I've shown this on my first short video preview. I took out quite a few links from the bracelet. I think that this watch is made for bigger wrists and would easily fit over 20 centimeters. Probably I would guess 25 centimeters, up to 25 centimeters circumference wrist would be very good with this watch. So what I like about this watch, I like the legibility, I appreciate the dial, I appreciate the amount of AR coating. Yes, it's only hardlex. One would say, well, it's not sapphire. Well, okay, Seiko were saving in every possible way to make this watch so attractive for the price, for the value that they put into this watch. I like the applied hour markers. I like the distinctive red GMT hand. I like the bezel. I can easily see all the numbers. Okay, this is not a traveler's GMT. This is not as good as the Grand Seiko or GMT watch that I have previously shown on my channel. This is a desktop, office worker GMT. So I will break up the timekeeping. This is the end of my 3-day on the wrist experiment. So I will show you. So the crown is not a screw down crown. In the first position, you just wind the watch, and it's a very good action, very nice action from an Asian movement. Really winds well, and the crown operates very tight, very secure, and it is good. So in the first position, if we rotate the crown clockwise, this changes and the GMT hand starts skipping 1 hour at a time. So you can see that I'm adjusting the position of the GMT hand, so the date doesn't get changed on the movement of the GMT hand. So I want my reference time to be Ukraine, so it's 12:14 in the Ukraine at the moment, 2 hours difference between Belfast in Northern Ireland and Kiev, Ukraine. So we went to 14. So it's an adjustable GMT hand. Rotating the crown counterclockwise will change the date. Well, I will show you. It is easy to change the date. So anti-clockwise changes the date setting. So in the second, so this is in the first position. In the second position, it's hacking. So this second hand movement has stopped, and you update the time, and this will be with a change to both GMT and the hour hand. So there is no independent hour hand adjustment on this watch. So it is not a proper like a pilot's GMT or a traveler's GMT. It's a more desktop reference timekeeping with this GMT watch. So I destroyed my time setting, but I'll set it up just after I finish this video. Now, the whole impression of this watch, it is really better in real life, because there are some reflective surfaces and the camera just doesn't pick up the contrast of the reflective surfaces and the matte surfaces of this watch. I'm really liking it. I'm really not regretting spending this money, getting this watch, doing this review for you, and I can really recommend this watch. I think there is a lot of sense, especially with a relatively good timekeeping of the Seiko 5 GMT. Why I think this is probably the most important release for 2022 is the introduction of this 4R34 Seiko automatic GMT movement. I think this will become well known as the NH36 or NH38 or NH37, and this will be picked up for high value and low-cost GMT watches by just about every micro brand in the world will be using this movement, and I know that it can perform very well. Well, these 10 to 12 seconds off for 3 days on the wrist is particularly good. It's particularly the quality of this watch, the feature of this watch that I'm mostly impressed by. So counting on the Hardlex crystal pressed clasp, well, probably the bezel could have been better if it was a clicking, properly aligning bezel. I think counting on the actual price of this watch, there is nothing on the market currently comparable to the Seiko 5 GMT. There are no GMT watches that would be so great in so many respects. So it is really worth considering for everyone. I think there is a great value in this watch, and considering fairly good timekeeping, this is a great addition to anyone's watch collection, and they're very easy to resell, and obviously eBay will be full of these watches very soon. So I wouldn't really recommend paying the full price. You can get this watch pre-owned and get a very good deal, get a very good watch for, well, not a significant amount of money, something that you can afford. Well, I wouldn't say it's a waste of money. I would say it will be money well put into the hobby of watch collecting, hobby of playing around with these watches. Really deserving watch, and there will be more to come with the Seiko GMT movement. So I think I covered everything I really wanted to talk about in this watch review, and I've shown you my Seiko 5 GMT Black Grape watch, and I really put some comments below. Say whether you liked this, whether you like the watch, whether you're gonna try out a Seiko 5 for yourself. Okay, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, because there's something really good, especially concerning the GMT, the proper Rolex GMT, and there will be a comparison of the Rolex Explorer 2 polar dial with my Omega Seamaster diver, 300 meters professional diver, with the white polar dial. Okay, see everyone. Ta-ta.